This is a particularly challenging year for forecasting. We not only have what's going on here in the United States, which we're going to talk about a little bit today, but mostly what's going on in the rest of the world. And it's not bad enough that we've got to deal with the rest of the world and what's going on in dairy. We've got folks like Putin, we've got European Commission, we've got other folks getting involved here that are going to influence or possibly influence the dairy prices in the coming year. And what I would say from probably late 2012 to current, we've had a pretty decent demand. And I don't think this is about, this downturn that the prices have taken here recently isn't really about necessarily a demand story. It's more about a supply story and some of the things that have gone on over the last 2 to 3 years to set up for what happened last year. Russia's imports of cheese are down 41% in the fourth quarter. What does that mean? Europe's not making cheese, they're going to make skim milk powder and butter. What does that mean here? Well, our skim milk powder and our cheese are going to get a heck of a lot more competition. Okay? If Russia does come back, we could see overnight cheese prices go right back up, because we don't have the stocks in the system right now to handle them coming back to make up that 41% shortfall. So for us to avoid some pretty steep declines in milk price in the first half of our year, New Zealand, Australia, Europe, and China have to do some work pulling back their milk supply. And Brazil is doing some work as well. Okay? We need to see everybody else go out. We need to see demand kind of keep going, and we skate through. If we don't, we need to do some work and basically pull back a little bit on our herd size and pull back on the milk production. We have the ability to turn on and turn off far faster than anybody else. And what we're seeing here is, probably about mid-year for a good chunk of our products, we started to see the backup. So what do I think initially in 2015? A lot more volatility. Okay, we're going to see ups and downs, and they're going to be sharper and higher and lower. And we're just going to kind of do a lot of this because the market's so touchy. And people are very uncertain, and people are still remembering last year not being able to get product. So what I did here is give you an idea of what I thought the prices could do, plotted it against where the futures are today, and then kind of gave you a band of what could happen. So that takes us to milk prices. Again, I think that first half of the year, we've got a lower road that we're going to be going through until we work through some of these supply issues and we get everything sorted out. And then I think after that, we could see prices come back a bit, simply because a lot of the people that were priced out of those markets are back. And that's a really strong story for us. It's not just the story about China, it's the story about who China priced out of the market. And what we've seen is, as we had hoped, those people are back and buying quite a bit of dairy products today. But that's a price, price is the qualifier there. We're moving good volumes at a price. We start to cross through a certain threshold and we're going to start losing that volume again. Here are all the things I think could take things higher or lower. Definitely weather. Worsening drought conditions in the United States, not good. And actual drought showing up in New Zealand, those are all things that will take prices higher. The problem with that is we may actually go through where feed and other things move before the milk price moves. That's a concern. Geopolitical issues, the big wild cards that can really swing these things. Let's put it this way, data out of Russia and China is typically delayed and wrong. Those are two facts that we know. Other than that, it's just generally an idea of what's going on there. So based on what we're seeing, China could be back in the market as early as April. We'll have to see. And global milk production. And the quota, I think, if Ireland does come back and do what everybody's expecting, that's a bit of a fly in the ointment there. If everybody else does what they're doing and marching towards reduction, like I said, we kind of sail through without too much event. I haven't seen that happen before. It's possible.